mankind unreasonably complain of their nature, that being weak and short-lived, it is governed by chance rather than intellectual power. For, on the contrary, you will find, upon reflection, that there is nothing more notable or excellent, and that to nature is wanting rather human industry than ability or time. The ruler and director of the life of man is the mind, which, when it pursues glory in the path of true merit, is sufficiently powerful, efficient, and worthy of honor, and needs no assistance from fortune, who can neither bestow integrity, industry, or other good qualities, nor can it take them away. But if the mind, ensnared by corrupt passions, abandons itself to indolence and sensuality, when it has indulged for a season in pernicious gratifications, and when bodily strength, time, and mental vigor have been wasted in sloth, the infirmity of nature is accused, and those who are themselves in fault impute their delinquency to circumstances. If man, however, had so much regard for worthy objects as he has spirit in the pursuit of what is useless, unprofitable, and even perilous, he would not be governed by circumstances more than he would govern circumstances, and would attain to a point of greatness at which, instead of being mortal, he would be immortalized by glory. Gaius Sallustius Crispus, also known as Sallust, a Roman soldier and politician.
Yeah. I just saw a comment from someone that said that, look, these people hurt me. They hurt my ability to do business. I didn't want to stop and sue Kate Peters. She's literally a troll that has no mission, that offers nothing in life. She's just a negative energy suck.
Oh, poor Chilito. What did our guy Sallust say in the introductory piece? Blaming circumstances. Let's listen to Alpha Boy Chilito. And let's listen closely, because this guy claims to be an alpha. He claims to be great at this. He knows more about policing than the police do. He knows more about the law than lawyers do. He's several times in the recent past referred to lawyers as the lowest level of existence, literally calling them scum. Yet this clown show does nothing but desire to be a lawyer and prove that he has lawyer skills. It's amazing, dude. You don't set up the thing you're trying to be, the person you're trying to become, as the lowest form of existence in our socioeconomic structure. But getting back to Sallust, let's listen now to all of the excuses why this big bad alpha, this tough guy who can take anyone down, fight 3 guys in the road by himself, with his... Anyway, I'm going to go on a rant here. This guy's a loon. He's literally a loon. He'll say one thing 1 second and then say the exact opposite moments later. He denigrates anyone who has a position of intellectual superiority or authority above him, yet he desires to be exactly what he denigrates. It's amazing. If I hated lawyers, which I don't, If I hated police, which I don't, I'm very grateful and thankful for the service that the police provide to us. Are some of them bad? Yeah. There are guys out there claiming to have raised money their entire lives, but nobody's ever made money with them. No product's ever been produced. No product has ever been sold. They're a bad money raiser because they're just raising money to put it in their own pocket to go from a skyrise Boston penthouse to, well, just look at the picture. Where are you? Some pauper's den? Some fleabag motel? Are you paying an hourly rate here at this motel, Chilito? Come on, dude. All of this nonsense. You are aspiring to be the thing that you say you openly hate. So let's hear all your excuses why you're now sidetracked from your mission, alpha. A real alpha slapped on the cheek turns the other cheek. A real alpha doesn't engage in fights. A real alpha tries to resolve and circumvent, because fighting is a waste of time. That's all you're doing, lil Chilito. You're just wasting time. You're wasting time because you don't have a transparency app. You don't have a product. And this new round of legal nonsense with the myriad of people you're going to sue is just another distraction and delay tactic to avoid coming face to face with the simple fact that you don't have anything to offer. You've been promising this transparency app for 6 to 8 months now. Nothing. You're high a lot. You talk about the drugs you're currently doing. You show the drugs you're currently doing. You're wasting a lot of time. You're wasting a lot of time and wasting a lot of money, wasting a lot of resources. Doing what? Nothing. Making excuses for not producing the transparency app that you continually promise to produce, but never produce. Let's hear some more of your circumstances, your excuses.
I didn't want to stop and sue Kate. I didn't want to stop and sue Josh. But the constant barragement of cutting down my products and my businesses have literally pushed my businesses into, you guys saw the numbers the other day. So those numbers I also gave to the court. So the same numbers you guys saw from my online store, I submitted those to the court. So I would be committing fraud, perjury. I'd be lying. So I had no choice. Yeah, I do remember I was given the trifold away for free. That's right. Mikey, you don't have to, sorry, Glow. I don't know if I can untime you. Oh, I guess you'll be untimed.
Another thing too, this absolute free speech person who believes in absolute free speech. If you say anything that's contrary to his message in his chat during his live, his mindless moderators, his mindless moderators will shut you down, time you out, kick you out. Here's something that I want to encourage. I don't really do lives. I pre-record because I like to think about what I'm saying before I say it, though I do say a lot of stuff impromptu and off the cuff, which most of this is going to be. But if you have negative feedback for me, if you think I'm doing something wrong, if you think my presentation is weak, whatever, if it's critical, it's important to me. I thank the listeners that I've had so far, and my numbers are super low, but we grow good, and we're growing pretty well. We had a nice little 60% increase in subscribers since the last broadcast I did. We were at 101, we're at 163 now. That's a 60% increase in about a week's time. I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't have to pay for anything. I'm not buying clicks. You know, Chile, you're buying a lot of the stuff you have. That's where your money goes. That's where your money goes. That's why you don't have a product produced, because you can't do the code writing and all the other things that are necessary to get your transparency app going to actually produce a product. You'll never do that, and you don't have money to pay talented people to do it. So you're trying to cajole your listeners and your sycophants, your little chili sack lickers. You're trying to get them to do your work for you. Grifter style. Grifter style. No pay now, but a promise of a big reward down the road when we IPO this thing. Because as you say all the time, it's a game changer. I have a lot of experience. I have about a decade's worth of experience with IPOing companies, with assessing the value of stocks, the value of investments, whether things are overpriced, underpriced. When you hear a person saying it's a game changer, run. Run. You know what game changer means? Game changer is a vaporous statement. It has no substance. It doesn't mean anything. And if you're saying things that don't mean anything, then you have nothing. You have nothing to talk about, nothing to show. You just have these goofy little statements like, it's a game changer. Doesn't mean anything.
Glow's right. Glow was saying I was giving away the trifold for free because I wanted to get the message out there more than I was interested in making $1. And then what really hurt me was giving away all that super chat money when I didn't know they took, 30% of it. So that hurt me a lot in the thousands. So because I raised thousands of bucks for people and I gave them all the super chat money. So that.
All right. So, Mr. Game Changer here. This is the guy who's going to handle the money. This is the guy, lil Chilito. He's going to handle the money. What did he just tell you? He just told you that he doesn't know how the financial operations of YouTube are structured because he gave away more money than he actually received. Oh, that's YouTube's fault. Circumstance. That's not lil Chilito's fault. That's YouTube's fault. Because why? Because somebody from YouTube didn't come to your house, knock on your door, hold your little hand, sit you down at a table, and say, here, Chilito, here's 10 single dollar bills. Let's count them out, Chilito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, lil Chilito, if you earn $10 on YouTube in the super chats, you don't really get $10. YouTube gets $1, $2, $3 of it. So there's YouTube's little pile, and what's left is your pile. Can you count what's left? I'm pretty sure you can't, lil Chilito. You have trouble doing time zones. You have trouble with basic math, dude. And you're the guy who's going to handle the money. Really? You're the guy that's going to handle the money. You give away more than you have. This is not the kind of person you want to give investment money to. It's not the kind of person you want to give anything to. This guy is not even the kind of person you want to make a secured loan to with collateral. I hope your investors hear that, Chili. Lil Chilito. You're not even the kind of guy that should get a loan that's collateralized. Look at your little van, you pedestrian. You're a pedestrian. You're just a couch surfing pedestrian. A day ago, you were in a penthouse apartment. Today, you're in a Fleabag motel. Chilito, where's your van, bro? Did you do Bobby Laws, a.k.a. Fred Gutierrez? Did you run Freddie's little EFT scam? Is that why your vehicle got repossessed, Chilito? Again, I'm going to say it. I know lil Chilito likes to repeat things over and over again. Let me repeat this again because I really hope that your investors hear this and get wind of this. You gave away more than you earned because you are too dumb to know that YouTube gets a cut, which they disclose to you. But you don't read anything. You don't read any of that. You don't want to get mired down in the details. You want to keep things as vague and generic as humanly possible. Because that always gives you wiggle room to cry about how you got taken advantage of or you got a raw deal. It's due to your own ignorance. You're giving away money you don't have, and now you're in a flea bag motel, a pedestrian with no car. Homeless. Homeless. I hope your investors hear this.
Really hurt me. I didn't realize it, but when it's like $12,000, it's a lot of money. So the people who are disappointed.
Well, you know, that's $4,000. That's $3,000 to $4,000. 30-40% off $12,000. 30% of $12,000, lil Chilito, is $4,000. You just gave it away, not knowing that you didn't have it to give away. Which, it seems a little suspicious, because I know YouTube's taking their cut before they're releasing that money to you. So how did you give it away if you didn't have it to give? I think you're fibbing. I think you're telling another fib, lil Chilito. But again, nothing's your fault, Chili. Everything's everybody else's fault. Damn, those YouTube bastards didn't explain everything in thorough detail to you. Not that you would have listened anyways.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate it, man. God bless you guys. You know, the people who are disappointed that I had to stop and sue these people, they knocked my online store down by 90% over 4 months. They're hurting my right to prosperity, my right to liberty.
I cannot begin to tell you how happy I am to hear that your grift got knocked down 90%. Every gray cloud, lil Chilito, got a silver lining for somebody.
My right to life, my liberty is not taken, but my right to be an entrepreneur and raise money from different. I've raised money my whole life for different companies, and now to make up stories.
You've raised money your whole life for different companies. Show me a product. Show me a product. Show me a successful company. Show something. Show anything. All you do is talk. Blah, blah, blah. Show a product. Show a company that succeeded. Because we've all seen multiple reports from multiple sources about how you set up LLCs and let them fall into administrative suspension. I mean, you can't even finish the things you start. You just let them flap in the breeze.
About me and say I run a Ponzi scheme. I have investors from California who've contacted me that said someone called me and I have to explain myself to a previous investor who gave me 5 figures. I have to talk to him. I can't, when I got that phone call and he says, hey, Chili, I'm hearing this about you online, and the guy has previously invested 5 figures with me, I now have to deal with a previous investor who's hearing things about me and is upset. And that's a hard conversation to have, to explain to him what a troll is. He has no idea what I'm talking about.
If you have investors investing in the tech sector, internet-based, internet interactive, you're raising money, you're explaining your things on the internet, you have investors. If your investors don't understand the machinations of the internet, the machinations of YouTube, if your investors don't understand what a troll is and the danger of being trolled, then your investors are not suited to invest with you because they don't know the potential risks. And that's the first thing that anyone who is going out to raise money for corporations should know to do. It's required of you that you disclose risks. So if your investors are finding out of the blue, shocked about it, and negative things about you, and you have to explain the whole dynamic of what an internet troll is, your investors are not qualified to invest in what you are doing. And you don't even know that. You don't even know that you have a responsibility. It's called prudent man. You have a responsibility to inform. You have a responsibility to make your investors aware of all potential risks. And you didn't do that. That's why you're now caught having to explain things. And when you go to court with this lawsuit you slapped on Kate Peter, Masshole Report, you sue, bro. Sue whoever you want. I mean, you can sue for nothing. You don't need a reason to sue, really. But you lose if you don't have a reason. And your reasons are not sound. And what you're going to do is you're going to call your own self to the carpet, and you're going to have to explain all of the things you've said and done that you're claiming when they were spoken of by another source who you couldn't control, that they're defamation, that it's defaming you. You're the one that's doing these things. You want to jump back to the Ponzi scheme comment you referenced. I'm not 100% sure that you would qualify as a Ponzi scheme specific, because that's all contained inside one frame. You're on a 30,000-foot view, Chile, what you're doing is really more of robbing Peter to pay Paul. I mean, if the allegations are correct, then you are robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're paying off investors from previous investments in companies that no longer exist. Your coded friend company does not exist. It's been administratively suspended, yet one of the investors claims that that company is still making money. And the only way he could claim that it was making money is if, lil Chilito, he was receiving money from you. Where's that money coming from? You don't have a job. You don't have an income. It's coming from the money you raise for transparency, and then it's going out the back door to keep quiet investors in other companies you formed that they think are still running but are actually administratively suspended.
So I had to turn and face these people who are defaming me. And there's still a few more. There's a few more. And I'm going after them because you can't just make up things about me. It's just, I have no choice. It really just hurt me, So I'm sorry for the people who feel like we're off mission. I definitely feel believe me, I can't stand doing any of this. I really can't wait till this part is over. But this all wraps up next year.
Next year. So he's telling you he's going to be distracted till next year, 2023. Let's assume that's January 1. This is all wrapped up. No way this is going to be wrapped up January 1st. This is going on way longer than just next year. That gives half of September, a little more than half, 3/4 of September, October, November, December. So all you're doing is making up excuses to distract yourself and not produce your transparency app for another 4 months. So you're buying yourself 4 months of time. What that's going to do for you, God only knows. Because everybody knows who you are now. Everybody knows who you are. And these lawsuits are just going to make you more infamous. Not famous, Chilito. Infamous. You're done, dude. You can only do this so many times until you run out of people who don't know who you are. And you did this in a place, on a platform, that's guaranteed to spread your nonsense, your malcontented attitude, your hatred of society, your disdain for authority, your denigration of people who are wealthy, who have prospered. The majority of people who prosper in America prosper by honest means. There is a portion of the population that prospers by less than honest or dishonest means. In Chile, you're not in the honest means category. Again, multiple LLCs that have fallen into administrative suspension and no product ever produced. With the exception of maybe the jock sock thing, but I don't think you were anything more than a spokesperson for that stuff. A paid male model. That's it. And if that was such a grand success, why'd you abandon it? You could have set that up so it was self-sufficient. You could have staffed it so there were profits left over, and that could be running to contribute. But you don't have any money. You don't have a job. You could have given yourself if you were an instrumental person in the whole jock sock thing, you could have set yourself up with a corporate titled position and a little bit of a paycheck. But you didn't. You don't. Who knows what you're doing?
That's right. That's right, Dwayne. They're hurting me, and they're hurting my friends, and they're hurting my family. They're calling my friends and family. They're calling previous investors. They're calling previous coworkers. They're calling previous girlfriends who I had to try to find some kind of dirt on me to make me a woman beater or an abuser or a drug abuser or an animal abuser. And then they're making up lies about me, saying I sold drugs, and I've never sold drugs in my life. So it's just crazy. And by the way, if there's rumors about you on the internet that you sold drugs and it's going around the internet, that hurts you for a very, very long time. If you raise money in the 6 and 7 figures and there's rumors all over the internet that you are run Ponzi schemes and you rip people off, that will hurt me for the rest of my life. It'll hurt me for the rest of my life, no matter whether I like it or not. There's investors now who I'm hurt, that this whole thing has hurt me, literally hurt my reputation.
Fantastic. That's a good thing to hear. You're a public figure, Chile, at least in a limited capacity, and you have videos all through your archives where you claim to be a public figure. You yourself say you're a public figure, and then a broadcast or two later, it's not efficient or good for you to be a public figure, or somebody said something about you that was negative and truthful, so you start saying, oh, I'm not a public figure, you can't talk about me like that. But 2 weeks before, you said you were a public figure. So, you don't make sense. And what was being done, background checks, it's called due diligence. You claim to raise money for companies. No one should ever give you a nickel without doing due diligence, a background check on you. And that includes contacting former investors and people who know you personally. Those people don't need to talk. They can say, I'd rather not comment, hang up the phone. They can say something positive about you, keep it short, hang up the phone. There's nothing wrong with doing due diligence and vetting individuals who claim to be raising money for legitimate reasons. And if you're raising money for a legitimate reason and someone's doing a background check on you, you might not like it, but, it's pretty normal stuff. It's actually required. I wouldn't invest with you unless I knew who you were. I know who you are. I wouldn't invest with you. I don't care if anything that's said about you was true or not true. The way you handle these situations and react to them, a person like me viewing you, I say, let's just get out of here, man. We can find another place to make our money grow. We don't need this kind of drama and nonsense. And that's what you are. You are drama and nonsense. And that's what this little round of, it's like a Jerky Boys skit. Sue everybody. Punitive damages. I'm going to sue. I fell down the stairs and my shoes fell off. He yelled at me so loud. You literally are a 1990s bad joke, Chile. You're a 1990s bad joke.
Reputation, my brand, my image, everything about me is hurt based on a bunch of people who are talking heads going, well, I've read some interesting documents, but I can't prove anything. I can't get a victim up here, but I'm telling you the truth. Just take my word for it. And that's defamation. And so